Submission Radio here with Justin Tafa, head of UFC 243, brought to you by Musashi. And I'll tell you what, things just keep getting more interesting here on the ground in Melbourne as things come along, because this man right here was obviously going to be on the fight card, but now on the main card, man. Justin, I mean, tell me, when did you find out you'd be on the big part of the show?
I think it was on Tuesday, to be honest. Like, my manager dropped a hint. He's like, "Oh, there's a chance you might be in the main card now." Holly Holmes, withdrawn. So, but it wasn't until I looked on Instagram.
Taking on Raquel Pena.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a new opponent? Raquel You're filling in.
The catch weight.
What does that mean to you to sort of be on the main card of something that's going to be so historic and such a milestone event?
Man, it must have just like it's meant to be kind of thing, I think it's just meant to be. Like, as soon as I heard Holly left, I was speaking to my corners and I was like, man, I reckon they'll bump me up, like some of these guys had their chance to shine on the main card and they didn't, like I'm all about that excitement. So, and the next thing you know, like I check on my Insta and everyone's like tagging me on the fight card. I was like, what the heck? How did these guys know before me?
Wow. So you found out through like online,
like
that?
Yeah.
Wow.
My manager dropped a hint, but then once there was like finalized cards, I was like, man, how did these guys get this, man? Like, what the heck?
Dude, I want to talk to you about Melbourne for a sec, because there's a funny story here, like a background of your relationship with Melbourne. Like, people might not know, but you actually, so the first time, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you've got this interesting journey. First time you came to Melbourne, you signed a contract with the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then you spent some time with them. Second time you came down, you won this huge like kickboxing match, right?
Yeah, main event of like.
But then what else happened? You had
your
child born?
Yeah, my son was being born while I was fighting, I took the fight, but my son was meant to be born, he was a bit late, but I took that fight so I can get a bed, like a better bed for us and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I didn't hear from my mom or my partner, and while I was fighting, I was just like, wow, kind of anxious, man. Like, man, it's my son. Are they all right? And then after I fight, I check my phone and I see a photo of my son. And I was like, wow.
And you were in Melbourne for
And I was in Melbourne, man.
And now you get to do an interview with Submission Radio in Melbourne. And now UFC 243, and you're on the main card of one of the potentially biggest attended UFC shows of all time, by the way.
Yeah, man.
What is it about Melbourne, man?
I don't know.
Like the best city for you.
Keep showing me love, so I just love being here.
I'm just wondering as well, obviously this Melbourne Storm thing, our international viewers might not know it, but Melbourne Storm, one of the strongest NRL clubs that there is. And on Sunday, it's going to be the NRL Grand Final after the card's finished. That's kind of like your old life, when you played footy. And how weird is it that you're sort of starting a new journey on the same day as the biggest event of sort of your old life as well? Is that kind of weird?
No, man, that's why I think I was in the main card, like I was like, when I left the Storm, I left on, a lot of stones weren't turned yet, and I was a young boy, and then I went home, I went back and I had to face a lot of stuff, and I'm a guy that always wants to be the best at something, like I shot for the NRL, and then, I was there, and then fighting's been in my family, so I went through that side, and I've hit the pinnacle again, biggest organization, it could be the biggest show, so like, man, it's just been it's been a ride, bro.
What are your memories from the NRL? Sort of like before you kind of left,
running,
left that behind.
Yeah, running. Yeah, man, a lot of fitness.
Any crazy stories? Anything that stand out to you?
Just all the hard sessions here in Melbourne. Like, man, but you meet a lot of good people. Meet a lot of good people, make a lot of good friends and whatnot. But like that whole team environment or being in a rugby team, all that camaraderie, it was good. But I think the individual stuff's a lot better for me.
Do you kind of have that similar vibe now? Because now you train with guys like Tai Tuivasa, Mark Hunt, Tyson Pedro. So you kind of got that camaraderie. And even though like you've got a lot of combat experience, with kickboxing and stuff as well, do you feel like, or how much would you say they've prepared you, to make this big leap and make your UFC debut? Like,
as you break your phone.
Yeah, I don't need bonus money now. A lot, like when we first. I think the first camp we attended was when Mark fought here.
Oh, wow.
At Etihad.
Yeah. UFC 193.
Yeah. So, man, we've been able to spar with Mark, Tyson, Ty, there's a few other boys, Carlos, he'll be in the UFC not long, and Glenn also. But It's been good, man. Like, we were quite young, you know, I was quite young, 21, 22, and then I'm banging with one of the legends, man. You know, I used to watch Mark on TV and on YouTube when he fought Ray Sifo, you know, back in his K1 days. He was like an idol, man, and then next thing you know, I'm getting punched by him in the face, and I'm like, damn, half starstruck, half concussed.
Did you speak to him ahead of this UFC debut? Like, have you had a phone call with him?
No.
Has he given you any advice or anything? Is that kind of relationship?
Mark's a good dude, and you know, like a real close friend of mine now, and it's just one of those things you didn't really, you know, he already knows kind of thing. He's like, oh, mate, in there, bro. That's what he said, you know, like, go hard, time to clock in.
Is he going to be here for Fight Night?
I'm not too sure. I'm hoping so. I know some of his family, some of his kids are coming, so I'm hoping he'll come.
What I was gonna say, like, what is it like fighting with so many other guys, like so many teammates on the card? Obviously, you got Ty, two of us are fighting on the card as well. I know some fighters don't like it because it's kind of tough. Like, you got to watch your friends fight. It can be a little bit nerving. Some people kind of feed off it. What is it like for you?
I won't know. I won't know until. But
I'm
not too fast. I fought on the same show as two of my other brothers, and we've been all right, you know. So I'm pretty sure I'll be all good with Ty.
It's one of those things where you run in the back after you fight. Hopefully everything goes back, and you get the best spot you can towards the fight, right?
100%. It's good that I think I'm opening the main card, and then Ty's not on until there's a bit of time, so I can be there and support him after.
Fight-wise, how much do you know about your opponent, and what are you expecting from this fight, and sort of how you expect it to play out?
I know he's a striker. Got some good wrestling, takedown defense. That's pretty much it. He's got a big right kick. That's pretty much it.
Do you study much tape on your opponent, or are you the kind of guy that kind of likes to focus on, you know, your own development and sort of let it play out naturally?
More my style, and then my trainers are the ones that look at the video and then implement the things that we need to tweak for the fights, and then I just go with it, because you can have a whole game plan and then go in a fight and then punch someone and they've just thrown their whole game plan out the window.
And for people that haven't seen your stuff, like, I encourage them to go on YouTube and check out the XFC stuff, because it's something out of a movie. People laying face down on the ground. You're standing over their body. Everyone rushing in cage. You're just yelling. Like, you're a really chilled out guy and stuff. And you're in that mode, you know. You're not someone that anyone wants to cross. And you've spoken about how your family has this incredible fight history, this fight lineage. And before we even started, we were talking about your grandfather. And I just want the camera to show your T-shirt there, the Tafa gang, and that's his face there. He was, you know, a great boxer and stuff.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, unfortunately, passed away. What do you think this would mean for him to see you on the main card of possibly the most attended UFC show of all time?
I think he'd be laughing, to be honest, you know. Me and my brothers were like the black sheep of our family. Always getting up to mischief, and he's just like, look at these guys, man. They're on the world stage now. Like, my name's up in there. They're obviously proud, but he'll be just, I reckon he'll be having a giggle with my grandma.
What's a funny memory like of you and your grandfather? Maybe you and your brothers getting up to some mischief, him catching you guys out.
Man, I think it was the sparring sessions in the backyard, you know, like, we had some 10 rounders. No, with like all the cousins. My mum's like 1 or 12, so I had a lot of cousins and just beating up on all my cousins.
I think I met you like 112, like record, like she's like fighting everybody and stuff.
She's got like 12 other siblings, you know, so I had heaps of cousins to beat up and get beaten up by. I'll see you guys soon. There's one. Some of them were like 15 years older than me. Like, nah, they're all good.
Yeah, that's where you learned your head movement from, right?
Yeah, head movement.
Let me just quickly say, obviously, we know you guys like to party if everything goes well. Ty brought the shoey into the UFC and kind of made that popular. Let me ask you, what is Justin bringing to the UFC that we haven't seen yet, party-wise, that people can expect? Alex brought lamb. He's going to be cooking lamb. Alex Olkanovsky, he loves his lamb.
Spoke about it a week
ago.
I don't
know, man. I was thinking about smashing a couple of 4X golds, you know, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't know.
Do you feel like there's room for you to kind of be a star in this heavyweight division? Because a lot of the legends and the icons of that division are kind of, you know, they're getting a little bit older and kind of needs fresh new contenders. You got guys like Francis and Greg Hardy and Ty himself, but there's not, you know, too many other contenders at the moment.
You know, like, if you talk to the boys or all my team and that, like, they know me as a hard worker, you know, like, they know that and I do produce some real vicious finishes. So I'm not all about the hype, but I think my knockouts will will bring up their hype.
Let me ask you, what does it feel like to knock a man out in that brutal fashion? As someone who's never experienced that, what is that moment like? What goes through your mind?
Just relief, eh? Like, oh, fuck, gonna go get a feed now. Once you do the stiff, you're like, oh, I need some pizza.
Is that kind of the ideal scenario? Like if you went into a fight and just like bang, it's over, quick knockout. That's the best scenario for you, right?
Man, any knockout, I don't mind. Like sometimes I like that little grind of if it goes to the later rounds. But as long as I still put him to sleep, man, I'm happy. Get a meat lovers, boom.
Meat lovers pizza.
I love it because when you mention your longest fight, I believe it's like second round in
Yeah,
MMA
yeah.
is the longest
It's ever gone
for. So yeah, it's going to be so fun to watch you
this
this Sunday. Just quickly, we want to get a couple of predictions from you. The first of this main event. Robert Whittaker versus Israel Adesanya. So hard to predict. We've been speaking to people. We've been trying to predict it ourselves. How do you see that fight going in the main event? Do you have a pick for that one?
Yeah, it's a hard one, man. Like honestly, like I'm a huge fan of both fighters. A lot of respect for both of them. But I've known Israel. I followed Israel since he was fighting community centers, man. So I'm 100% behind Israel, and I do feel like Israel will win this fight by some sort of finish.
Well,
I'll tell you what, and possibly the most important prediction here today, what will Justin Tafa's first UFC fight look like this Sunday? And it's weird as well because a lot of people aren't used to fighting in the morning. As well, it's going to be like an afternoon knockout kind of thing. So what
NRL people will be coming from the club to the event from the night before.
What will that look like? What's the prediction?
I think I'm gonna knock this guy out. I think I'll knock him out bad. I think he's gonna gas. He's gonna leave his chin, and he's gonna look up at me for mercy, and he's gonna go out stiff.
There you go, guys. It's going to be a knockout. Meat lovers pizza. Forget the Gucci gang. It's all about the Tafa gang. Tafa versus the rest. That's it. Yep. Good luck this Sunday,
Cheers,
man.
man.
Have fun.
All the
Thank you
best.
so much for your time.